Testing. Okay. What's up, guys? I'm here, and we will be getting started in just a minute. All right. Let's get this show going. Hold on, I need to update my monitoring. Okay, there we go. I think we're good to go. Hope you guys. Oh, let me close this NFL stream. Can't be streaming NFL stuff on YouTube. I will get a ban or something, I'm sure. But yeah, hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. It is October 3rd, episode number 11 of the Sunday live stream. Had a good morning so far. Just got back from the gym, had lunch. Yeah, just try to keep my mornings as active as possible. Today is leg day for me. Every Sunday is a leg day, so it's a bit of a grueling morning, but I made it. I'm here. My shirt's a little messed up with this green screen, but I'm sure you guys will be a little forgiving there. All right, so as always, if you guys enjoy the live streams, if you guys enjoy the channel, if you would be so kind to like the video and subscribe to the stream, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, and I'll go ahead and show this off before we get started on today's topics, I have 2 new videos up right now on the channel. So this was my live stream last week. A little clip from that on when to ask for a raise at your job. And the success story there is not clickbait. It actually does include a success story of somebody who asked me for some advice on getting a raise, and I successfully managed to help them get a raise. Twice what they were initially going to ask for. And then also this one here, how to handle racism. Something I think is very important, something I think so many people do incorrectly in today's society, handling racism. And I'm not talking about the serious racism that should be of concern to anybody. You know, if there's racism within politics, if there's racism within like social welfare programs, something like that. You know, if somebody needs support from the government and they need WIC or EBT or anything like that, like I think if you are in a position in life where you need access to that stuff, you should get it regardless of your gender or your race or anything like that. I'm not talking about that kind of racism. I'm talking about the kind of racism where, you know, you're just out and about in the city, you're at a park, somebody yells something at you, no threat of violence, no real concern for your overall safety or your overall well-being. I'm talking about that kind of racism. I think a lot of people handle that type of racism incorrectly. So I decided to do an entire video on that, all 6 minutes. It didn't take too long because I think it's actually a pretty easy thing to address. So if you guys want to check out that video, I believe it is a good one, and hopefully it can give you some tips. And I also address a little bit of stoicism in that one as well. All right, so what do I want to talk about today? As you could probably tell by the title of this live stream, let me make sure. Yep, Hoppas and Asian masculinity. That is the topic for today. And the reason I bring this up is because of some posts I've come across recently on Reddit on the Hoppas communities. And if you guys don't know what Hoppa is, it is... Oh, they've actually changed their description a little bit. It's way more political now. It used to just be something like, we provide a safe space for people who are half white, half Asian, which is what Hoppa is. Hoppa, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But now it's, we also provide an anti-racist safe space to empower Hoppas who grew up in interracial families that suffer from white patriarchy and internalized white supremacy. So yeah, they've gone full identity politics now. Not that that was ever a real question mark before. It was pretty obvious, but yeah, now at least they're being a little bit more overt about it. But I wanted to address some of the posts that I've seen recently on this subreddit, and I'm highlighting two posts here, but this is really indicative of really the types of people that kind of hang out in these subreddits. I know I mentioned that Hoppa is half Asian, half white, but really the subreddit is what I would call Asian incels. I think that is most of what I've seen. There are some other subreddits that kind of focus a little bit more on like Asian politics, just identity politics from an Asian perspective. They're not so concerned with like the sexual political part of it. Hoppas is very focused on that. And as a result of that, you kind of get a very specific type of person in the subreddit. So let's go over two of these posts and let me address my concerns here. So this first one, how do you cope with having all the cons of being a WAMF? And that is white male, Asian female child, white male being the father, Asian female being the mother, a white male, Asian female child, and none of the pros. He says, I suffer from the following: anti-Asian racism. I like Asian to white people and vice versa. Broken home, alt-right white dad and subordinate Asian mom. Unconventional looks, internalized racism. Kissless, touchless, handholdless, hugless, friendless virgin at age 18. Parents, the internet dismissing the struggles I have with being Hoppa. My life sucks partly for these reasons. So that is the first post that I saw. The second one was by this 20-year-old male. He says, I'm a 20-year-old male, half Asian, half white, and dating for me is like a nightmare. I only kissed two random girls who I had no affiliation with. Just came up to me drunk, and I'm a fucking virgin. I really want a girlfriend, but whenever I go for Asian girls, I feel like they only like full Asian guys, usually, or full white guys. I really don't know what to do, and I never had a girlfriend once in my life. Anyone else feel like this? So those are the two posts that really got my mind running and made me want to do another video on the Hoppa community. And the reason why I say another one is because I've done one before, and it's kind of weird. This one's actually spread a little bit more than I even knew about. But there's this website, knowyourmeme.com, that covers this dude, Eurasian Tiger, who I believe was the creator of this subreddit, or maybe the original one of the moderators of this subreddit. But basically, they go into this dude. He's kind of notorious within these communities online. And down in this video is me, my beef with our Hoppas. So I didn't even know about this. I had no idea I was on this website. I had no idea I was really tied to this guy. Tenda, Spencer, Eurasian Tiger. Had no idea I was tied to him in any way, but somebody DM'd me on Twitter letting me know about this. They were actually asking me to take that video down. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. All right, so going back to these Reddit posts. Look at my invisible water bottle. Okay, so the first real issue I have here is that this guy says, I suffer from the following. The first one being anti-Asian racism. Okay, that one might be legitimate. You might actually have some racist people in your life. And I guess you could say that you're suffering from that. I'll give you that one. Broken home. I believe that is also something that is relatively outside of your control, especially considering their age. They're 18. It's kind of hard to just break free from your home. But some of the other ones, unconventional looks. Like, you suffer from unconventional looks. That's kind of weird. Internalized racism. That is 100% you. That is not something you suffer from. That is something that you have internalized. That is something that you have brought upon yourself. And that is probably something that has only grown worse over the past few years because of the amount of time that you spend on subreddits like this. Kissless, touchless, handholdless, hugless, friendless virgin at the age of 18. Again, that might be true, but I don't know that I would use the term suffer. That's a very weird word to use in that context. To say that you suffer from being kissless, you suffer from being a hugless virgin. It's a very weird word to use there. And then my parents and the internet dismisses the struggles I have with being Hoppa. Again, not something you suffer from, that is just something that you experience. You can have hard issues in your life that you have to deal with. Other people might be dismissive of how hard those struggles are. But that doesn't mean you suffer from anything. That just means that you have an aspect of your life that you place a lot of emphasis on that other people don't really place a lot of emphasis on, right? And then the other person who says, dating is so tough for me. I'm a 20-year-old male. Dating for me is a nightmare. I've only ever kissed 2 girls. I want a girlfriend. But he says girls only go for full Asian guys or full white guys, which again kind of goes counter to the narrative on this subreddit, because one of the claims that they make is that Asian women glorify white men and that they actually don't want to date Asian men. But then this guy is saying, oh, they only want to date full Asian guys. So they can't even get their own narrative right. They want to play this whole, like, Asian women just glorify white guys. And it just reeks of entitlement, because you are not entitled to who women are interested in. If women are interested in certain types of guys, that's what they're interested in. But they seem to feel like they have first dibs on these women. So whenever they go to a white guy, they're like, wait, that's one from the pool that I should be eligible for. And they're going towards white guys and skipping Asian guys entirely. So this guy says they're going after full Asian guys. But again, that's a narrative that's very prevalent on this subreddit, that Asian women commonly say, oh, I could never date an Asian guy. It would be like dating my brother. That's one of the tropes that are on here very frequently. But then here he's saying, oh, they only want to go for full Asian guys, not halves like me. So one of my big issues with these subreddits, you can tell by the way that they talk. You can just tell by the language that they use when they say they suffer from certain things, when they're really just aspects of life that you have to deal with. They want to play victim. They always go towards the victim mentality. These things are happening to me. These things are outside of my control. They are wrong. They should not be that way. And my guess would be that most of the guys on these subreddits are straight up dorks. And I say this as a former dork. I say this as a former nerd. I don't think I am so much anymore. I mean, I'm still a nerd. I like nerdy things. I mean, for fuck's sake. Let me just pull up my keyboard real quick. I have Pokemon keycaps on my damn keyboard, okay? Like, I'm a nerd. I have a mechanical keyboard. I bought custom keycaps. I'm a nerd. It's okay. You can be a nerd and still get girls. But you can't be a dork. There's a difference between the two. You know, you can be a nerd. You can have nerdy hobbies. You could really be into like esports or something like that. But when you're a dork, it's like somebody you just don't want to hang out in general. They're just kind of losers. There are cool people that have nerdy hobbies, and that makes them an interesting person. You know, you might find out, oh, some player in the NFL likes League of Legends. Like, wow, I never would have guessed that. Kyler Murray likes fucking League of Legends. Like, who knew, right? So most of these guys are dorks. The fact that they're spending time on these subs, you can go through their post history, you can go through their comment history, and they're spending so much time on our Hoppas with other guys talking about the struggles of being a half Asian, half white person, about how they can't get attention from women, and the world is just stacked up against them. When they're sitting on Reddit with a bunch of other guys who are also bitching about the same thing. It's like, hey, you got to surround yourself around different people, right? That whole saying that says you are the average of the 5 closest people to you. Well, if you're spending all of your time on an incel subreddit, guess what? You're going to be an incel. The other thing with these guys on the subreddit, I guarantee you, post pictures of yourself. You don't have to show your face. You can hide your face, but just do like a body shot. Put on your nicest clothes you own. Post the picture of yourself. Would you guess these guys are like super stylish? Have a good sense of style, a nice haircut, well groomed, in great shape? Probably not. I'm going to guess they kind of look like that basement dwelling incel you would expect to see hanging out on a subreddit like this, going so far as to make a post about how shitty their life is. And I even posted this on the where is it? Where is my message? Yeah. I said, are you comfortable posting the following here? Height, weight, build, skills, hobbies, and a picture for a sense of style. You can censor your face. I did it on both of those. Are you comfortable posting the following here? Your height, your weight, your build, meaning like your physical build, your skills, what are you good at? What do you have going for? What do you have going for you? Any hobbies that make you interesting? They can be nerdy hobbies too. There's nothing wrong with that. Along with a picture so I can get a sense of your style, along with the whole weight and build thing. I'm not going to insist that they post their face. One, because I don't think it matters as much as many guys want to say it matters. But two, I respect their right to anonymity. So far, neither guy has taken me up on that. But the other reason why these guys are having such an issue finding women is because they have this victim mentality. You can tell that they're angry at the world. You can tell by the way they write. You can tell by the posts that they post on, the posts that they comment on. You can tell that they're mad at the world. When they see an Asian woman dating somebody who doesn't look like them, and I mean doesn't look like them in the sense that they're half white, half Asian, they're mad. They are actually upset by this. They think something is wrong. This is the most entitled bullshit I think I've ever seen. Not only are they upset that they're dating outside of their race, but it goes back to that whole entitlement thing. Like, they think by nature of them being half Asian, that they have first dibs on these women? Like, do they have to go through the entire pool of Asian men first? And then, if none of them are a good partner, now you can go check out white boys. That's cool. You have no idea what this girl's life is like. You have no idea what she's interested in. You have no idea the hobbies that they share, the life experiences that they share. They might not be racially the same, but they might have so many shared life experiences that they're perfect matches for each other. But you're making the snap judgment based off of a picture, and you're saying, oh, look at this Asian girl going for the white savior, internalize fucking race. Like, oh my God, dude. And what they don't realize is that this victim mentality, this being angry at the world, this isn't just a Reddit thing. This isn't something that only shows up on Reddit. If you think like that, if that is in your head, if you have that type of victim mentality, if you have that type of racial political mindset that makes you get pissed off at the world anytime you see an Asian girl dating another person who isn't Asian, it's going to show. It's going to be a part of your personality. They're going to know something's off. It bleeds through. You don't have to dig that far into the conversation. It's just your body cues, your body language, little things here and there. You'll just be talking about, I don't know, fucking Mortal Kombat, or you'll bring up Ghost in the Shell. And you'll be like, oh my God, Ghost in the Shell was such an amazing movie. I love that. And you'll just see them like glare, like, ugh, Scarlett Johansson's white. She was the lead in that movie. Ugh. And then you're immediately like, okay, this is not a person I want to be around. They think this is something that doesn't affect their day-to-day life, that they can somehow just contain this to Reddit. You can't. It is a part of who you are. I guarantee you, people can see it. People can see through that, and it bleeds into your day-to-day life. And it is why your life isn't going the way you want it to. Again, if you actually have a racist dad, I'm sorry, that fucking blows. But also the fact that he uses alt-right, okay, he might just be a Republican. He might just voted Trump. And of course, anything right of center to them is alt-right. So I can't take that one too seriously. But then the whole anti-Asian racism, like, again, you might live in a part of the world or a part of the country where that is legitimate. But that's also why I published this video, how to handle racism. If you do live in a racist part of America, or you live in a racist town, watch this video. That should help you out a little bit. But this whole Asian is a detriment to you in the dating game is something I'm able to empathize with less and less. Because Korean entertainment is kind of taken over right now. It's, in a weird way, it's never been a better time to be an Asian dude. I'm not saying you're at the top of the fucking food pyramid, but it's never been a better time. There have been far worse times to be an Asian guy in the dating game, right? You have K-pop. That's bigger than ever. Fucking Korean guys are on American TV commercials. I see phones for like Samsung, LG. You have the members of BTS in the commercials. I'll be walking through Target. I hear songs by Blackpink. I get it, they're a girl band, but still, K-pop playing in a fucking Target in America. It's kind of crazy. BTS playing in a Target in America. You go on TikTok, people are dancing to BTS songs. Squid Game. probably the biggest show out right now, 100% Korean. It's never been a better time. Now, the girls might not be weeaboos. That's cool. But it's at least something to talk about. But this is the problem. Rather than using that to your advantage, if you, let's say you go on Bumble, you go on Tinder, you get a date, white girl swipes right on you. You're like, yes. That's also a kind of funny thing here, too, is whenever they date white girls, it's like the greatest thing ever. But whenever Asian girls date white guys, it's like, how fucking dare you? So white girl swipes right on them. They got a date with a white girl. Yes, I did it. They go on a date, and the girl just might casually bring up the show. Like, have you seen Squid Game? And you don't know if she's bringing it up because you're Korean. She might be. You don't know if she's bringing it up because you're Asian. Maybe. But she might also just be bringing up Squid Game because everybody's talking about it. It's trending on Twitter. It's breaking, like a Korean telecom company is suing Netflix over it because they had so much traffic. I think it's on pace to be Netflix's most popular show ever on the platform. The girl could legitimately just be bringing up Squid Game because she just watched it. She loved the show. She's like, oh my God, this was like Hunger Games 2.0. This is exactly what I wanted. But sensitive little Asian incel motherfuckers on this subreddit will be like, oh, so you're bringing that up because I'm Asian, huh? Date ends. She's like, oh, yeah, you're Mr. Sensitive. I don't want to be around you. And then they go home. They're like, this fucking white girl, god damn her. She went on a date with me today. She saw me across the table from her. I'm Asian. And she's like, oh, so what'd you think of Squid Game? I bet you watched that because you're Asian, right? When really her and all of her girlfriends were just like, oh my God, have you heard about this show? It sounds fucking awesome. It's like Hunger Games, but they actually show people dying. Unlike Hunger Games, where it's just like, okay, we know they die, but, you know, it's got to be kid-friendly. We can't show the people die. They were, like, legitimately interested in the show. Let's just break the fucking ice over dinner. Let's just talk about the show. But you spend all of your time on these fucking subreddits that when she just wanted to talk about this show, it could have been, what's that show? Totally just killed the vibe here. It could have been Ozark, right? Let's say in 3 months, Ozark comes out. She's like, oh my God, have you seen Ozark? Are you watching the last season? It's so good. And you'd be like, oh yeah, I fucking love Ozark. That show's awesome. And then conversation continues from there. But because it happens to have Asian people in it, you freak out. You go on this whole racist politics rant with her and how she was only bringing it up because you're Asian. It's like, guys, this bleeds into your life. It makes you not want to be good company. It makes people not want to be around you because they can't even bring up the biggest show in the world right now. I think I saw something that Squid Game is the most viewed show on Netflix in over 90 countries. Of course, somebody might want to talk about it over dinner on your first date. But you take it so personally, and you think it's only happening because you're Asian. Not saying it's impossible, but maybe they're just talking about it because it's a great show and it's a popular show. Here's what these guys need to do, though. And this is why I asked them those questions. This is why I asked them. Let me find it. Are you comfortable posting the following here? Your height, weight, build, skills, hobbies, and your picture for a sense of style. The reason I asked them is because it matters. You have to get your shit together. If you're a guy in today's world, in really any time in history, but especially now, ask yourself, if you were a girl and you were a 10 out of 10, picture your perfect girl. And just to really set the bar high, pretend you got like 5,000 followers on Instagram, right? So every time you post a picture, there are guys posting hard eyes. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, you're so pretty. Just attention is abundant. If you were a 10 out of 10 girl, you're out and about in public, and you walk by, do you want to fuck you? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And if you immediately jump to a yes, sorry, it's probably not a yes. If you're a girl in modern society who has options, would you fuck you? Would you date you? Would you even go on a first date? Would you even go on a date just to get free dinner? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. And these are the questions that they don't want to answer on this sub. It's like, hey, let's dig into your weight. And I post height. You don't have any control over that. I get that. If you're 5'1" and you're a dude, like, yeah, life's going to be a little rough. I get it. But if you're 5'1" in great shape and you're jacked, things are a little bit easier, right? So that's why I'm asking these questions. How tall are you? What's your weight to get some sort of proportion there? What's your build? Are you in shape? If you're not in great shape, if you're skinny fat, if you're overweight, and you're bitching about the dating game, sorry, you don't get to bitch. Do you have skills? Is there anything you're good at? If I ask you right now, what is one thing you're amazing at? If you went out in the middle of the street and did it, people would be like, holy shit. It could be painting. It could be drawing. It could be a musical instrument, whatever. Is there anything that you're good at? Do you have any interesting hobbies that maybe you and a girl can bond over? It can be something nerdy. It can be a skill and a hobby. Maybe you're really into cosplay and you actually make the costumes. If you're really good at it, trust me, you can find a girl. They're out there. And guess what? If you're Asian, you're kind of set because those girls are weeaboos. All they do is watch anime. I doubt they're going to be like, I wouldn't date an Asian guy. They watch Death Note, my guy. You're good. You're good. They'll fuck with you. But you have to have this stuff. And look, I'm going to brag here for a minute. I have to be honest with you because look, I wasn't always the person I am today. And I'm not saying I have fucking everything figured out, but life's a lot better today than it used to be. Let me just show you who I used to be. This was me in high school. Chubby, no confidence, not in great shape, horrible style. Okay? That's me at 15, 16 years old. That is me like a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever. I got my shit together. All right? And I just moved recently to a different spot in Atlanta, in the racist South. I live in Georgia, guys. They hate anybody who's not white down here, right? I shit you not, in like the last month and a half, I was at a poker night with my girlfriend, had a group of white guys, like straight up white frat dudes. They went to Alabama. We had that in common. It took a little bit of conversating to get there. But straight up white frat dudes approached me at poker. They just wanted to talk. They were like, hey, man, you're in pretty good shape. Like, what kind of stuff do you do? And then we had this conversation. There was no racism there. I was dressed very well. I think that I had that going for me too. They're like, hey man, you're just kind of over here like posted up by yourself. And then we had this conversation. They asked like if I work out, got into college. They found out I went to Alabama. They're like, no, you didn't. I had my student ID card. I'm like, dude, I went to Alabama. They're like, no shit, so did we. Had this whole conversation about the college that we went to. They graduated like 10 years after me, but we had a conversation about it. Last week I was at the gym. Had this older guy, probably like 50 something, maybe even 60 something, give me a compliment. He goes, hey man, what, you look good, man. I was like, oh, thanks. He's like, you look good. It's like, I appreciate it. He's like, what kind of stuff do you do? We had this whole conversation about dieting, about exercising. He's trying to get into shape. Gave him some tips. This weekend, I went to Publix, a grocery store. If you guys don't have Publixes near you, this actually kind of scared me. I'm not going to lie. My girlfriend's home. That was a garage door. Scared the shit out of me. But I was at Publix, went to the cashier, and the guy goes, hey, excuse me, sir. I look up. I'm like, what? He's like, excuse me, sir. I know this is America. I know we believe in the Second Amendment here, but can you put your guns away? Like, totally cheesy. I feel even awkward, cringy saying it. But that actually happened. There was a lady in front of me getting her groceries checked out, and he just totally, out in the cold, just complimented me. Older white guy. Scared the shit out of me for a second. Not going to lie. I thought I had something in my pocket that looked like a gun. And even the lady in front of me was like, oh my God, I thought he actually had a gun. So we both we all three laughed over the situation. And then at another gym that I was going to like a month ago, had this younger guy, probably like 23, 24, younger Hispanic guy, came up to me. He goes, hey man, you look pretty good. I'm like, thanks. He's like, how did you get so shredded? He's like, I'm trying to he's like, I work out a lot, but I don't look the way you look. I'm trying to get shredded. You got any tips? Had this whole conversation. The point is, I had to make a decision in my life, going back to that question where I'm like, if I was a 10 out of 10 girl, would I fuck me? My answer was a no. It sucked to give myself that answer. But I'm like, you know what? I don't think I would date myself. I don't think I would see myself walking down the street and go, I need to go talk to that guy. Or I hope that guy comes and talks to me. I don't think I was there. So I started changing my life. I started going to the gym. I started getting my shit together. Started doing calisthenics. You have cool skills that you can do, like a handstand. Shit you not. I even posted it in the caption. I had to do this handstand twice, once for Instagram and once for the two girls who walked by wanting a photo on their own. True story. Girls were just like, hey, do it again, I want a picture. Like, okay, I'm there with my girlfriend. But if I wasn't dating my girlfriend, that leads to a conversation. Talk to those girls. Hey, they're cute enough. Ask them out on a date. But you have to have... I did a twofer here. I started going to the gym and doing calisthenics. So not only did I get in better shape, but now I have cool skills that I can show off. But how many of these guys on this subreddit have none of this? And they have the audacity to bitch about life? It's not easy. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. You have to change. And I'm not saying that you have to live in the gym. You don't have to do that. It sure helps, but you don't have to do that. But you at least have to be interesting. You have to have something. Mitch says, nice Second Amendment jokes. Yeah, he legitimately scared the shit out of me. I kind of jumped. I was like looking at my pockets, like, what do I have? But no, he was just making a corny joke. But I never thought I would be that guy. Ever. That I would be the guy who is just buying groceries at Publix and the cashier compliments me. Never in a million years thought I would be that guy. And it took a long time. Let me scroll back on my Instagram all the way to the bottom. When did I start working out? 2016-ish. So like 5 years. And again, like I was saying, you don't have to go to the gym. It sure helps to be in good shape because it's a walking billboard. If you're in good enough shape to where people just know, like, oh, that guy works out, it helps every aspect of your life. Job interviews, people approaching you, you're in a restaurant, people just assume competency. Because if you're good at drumming, if you're good at painting, yeah, that's cool. But nobody really knows until you pull up your Instagram and you're like, dude, look at my paintings. People are like, oh shit. But if you work out and you literally change your body to the point to where people just know you work out, it's there right in front of them. It's the greatest thing I've ever done. It literally feels like a life hack. Everything in life has gotten easier. Talking to people. I don't like approaching people in public. I don't really like small talk. People just approach me. So I don't want to talk to people, but people come up and talk to me, and then that gets the conversation going. Sometimes they're cool people, but I don't even have to do the work. I go in the gym, women compliment me, guys compliment me. It gives you confidence. You don't have to do that. It is very helpful to do that. But if you're not going to do that, you at least have to have something. Something that makes people go, wow, you're cool. You're interesting. You do cosplay? Wait, you made that? You made that costume all by yourself? Yep. Dude, how'd you get started on that? Oh, I started like 3 or 4 years ago. But all these fucking incels on Reddit, on this Hoppa forum, just bitch about life, bitch about how dating's so hard. And I guarantee you, if you did an audit of them, you'd be like, bro, there's not much here. Like, what are you bitching about? Get your shit together first, and then you can bitch. But by that point, you won't be bitching. This is what creates resentful people. This is what creates, like, the fucking Elliot Rodgers of the world that shot up like 7 girls at his school. It's like they just spend so much time on Reddit. They spend so much time like obsessing over these women who don't give them attention. When again, go back to that question that I asked myself years ago. If I was a girl, if I was a 10 out of 10, my dream girl, would I fuck me? Ask yourself that question. Picture your perfect girl. You're in her body. You walk by. Are you like, that's the one? If your answer is a snap yes, think twice. It shouldn't be a snap yes. If you look like this guy, you can give a snap yes. This is a guy I follow on Instagram, Mike Thurston, total fucking Chad. If you look like this guy and you give a snap yes, yeah, you're good. But you think this guy is on this subreddit? I really want a girlfriend, but whenever I go for Asian girls, I feel like they only like full Asian guys. Be interesting. Do something. Let me just throw out the book recommendation since I think it is worthwhile. And also another quote for you guys, Joe Rogan's. He said on his podcast one time, be the guy you pretend to be when you're trying to get laid. If you're a guy, let's say it's, just so we can use the beginning of the year as a good starting point, let's say it's March 1st. If you worked out any time in January or February, you're at a bar and a girl's like, "Do you work out?" If you worked out once in January or February, 90% of guys would be like, "Yeah." It's like, bitch, you went once in 2 months. Live by that advice that Joe Rogan gave. Be the guy you pretend to be when you're trying to get laid. But if you need more reading, read Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. Start small. That's why, where is it? Isn't making your bed one of the rules? I thought it was. But yeah, start small. Like he said at some point in this book or in some other video. Start small by making your bed. At least you've done something productive in your life to make the area around you better. And then slowly add more stuff to that. And start with immediately getting the fuck off of these subreddits. This is how you know it's bad. I had to go to webarchive.org to actually find this. I saved the link, and literally 2 days later, he's deleted his account and deleted the comment. You know what you need to do, man. You know. You just got to do it. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not like you decide to become a more interesting person. You're like, you know what? I need to work on my confidence. And 2 months later, you're confident. Like, that's not how it works. It's going to take a long time. It's a journey. That's why I keep telling you guys, like, dude, I don't have it all figured out. I'm just way further along than I was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Because I actually started living a lot of this stuff. I finally, after listening to enough Joe Rogan episodes, was like, okay, I guess I'll start working out. I guess I'll do it. He says there's a lot of benefits. He says it's great for his mental health. Says it's great for how people treat him. And like, okay, let me just buy into that, accept that as being true, and do it. And I did. And it's the greatest thing I've ever done. But I also have other things to fall back on too, like calisthenics. I can do these cool tricks, like drumming. I've drawn and painted before. I've shown my girlfriend my art. She's like, what the hell? Like, why'd you stop? This is really good. I have a lot of things I'm interested in. I don't spend all of my time on Reddit bitching with a bunch of other half Asian, half white people about how difficult our life is and how we suffer from unconventional looks. Like, use that to your advantage. And none of them have ever posted responding to my question. And that's how you know that they know. Because if they were confident, if they did look like Mike Thurston, who I showed a minute ago, they're like, dude, I'm a total chat and I still can't get laid. Like, we would have something to talk about there. But when I ask the simple questions, post your height, that's a number. Post your weight, that's a number. Post your build, that's an adjective. Post your skills, words, nouns, hobbies, nouns, and a picture, anonymized picture, takes 5 seconds, upload it to Imager. They do none of it. It's not like I'm going to roast them. I'll be somewhat nice about it. I'm not going to go full Cernovich on them. But they don't reply with that because they know that if they did, they would have to accept some hard truths in their life. All right. I think I've done enough ranting on that for today. 50 minutes, nearly 50 minutes covering that damn subreddit. We'll see if this catches on to that sub. My last video on Hoppas definitely did. They were not happy with me, but part of what I try to do now, it's not what I used to do with my YouTube channel previously. I would just talk shit. Now I still talk shit, but I also provide advice. or at least I try to. So, yeah, it might have been a little hard on them by giving them the red pill on their life and the things that they need to change, but I also provided some suggestions on how to make things a little bit easier and even told them, like, hey, it's not going to be an overnight journey. It's not going to be easy. You have to work on skills. You have to be more comfortable talking to people. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. But at least with this new phase of my channel, I want to provide some advice in addition to just talking shit sometimes. So, Hoppas, if you're watching this, I promise I mean well. And if you have anything you want me to address, or if there's anything you think I was wrong about, or if there's anything you want me to go into more detail about, leave a comment below this video. I'll probably clip this one and have it as a standalone as well. So, again, guys, I will be back live next Sunday, October 10th, again at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you guys like this video, you like the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. That is the #1 way you can support me and what I'm doing. I appreciate you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Mitch, Lazada, thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you liked that joke. Anyways, you guys are awesome. Have a good Sunday.